Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with their daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I do always greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about XDC. So I actually haven't checked it out too much today, but I know that the price action hasn't been too crazy. We have been, trading sideways for a little bit of time. We had a little bit of some sell pressure, but it wasn't nothing. Like it was like, fractals of a cent. But we did hit about almost 7 cents. Of course, rejected off of it. Found that support at around like 6.3, if you will, in terms of cents. And now we're just kind of trading at around 6.5 cents. We have had some volume, but it wasn't anything significant. Honestly, I would say that we need a lot more listings. I've said this multiple times. I think that listings will happen. I actually questioned this on my Twitter. I said, just imagine, what XDC could be if like we were actually list on things on exchanges, I should say technically, that were easier for the retail individual to buy. Because XDC, from any sort of standpoint, is a no-brainer investment move. I look at the market cap potential in terms of valuation for XDC, and at $190 billion, and trust me, I have a reason why I chose $190 billion. We would be worth $15.53, or a 235x. The reason why this opportunity is here for XDC is because think about it like this. We're going after a $19 trillion, overall market cap valuation for trade finance. And when we're talking about that market, we're already well positioned to disrupt it greatly. This is 1% of that market, share, I mind you. At 10%, we would be worth about, 1.9 trillion. But I think that this figure is a little bit too much for a lot of individuals to process. So I would just go off of 1% alone. And we will gain that 1% of that market share very, very easily. In fact, I think that there's a lot of things already in store for us to do this. And we're going to be talking about this and addressing this in today's video. So like I said, sit back and let's just jump in real quick. So first off, in terms of price action, yes, we are still in my demand zone almost. We are actually trading a little bit, above it overall. I want us to gain some traction and get above the 7.5 cent mark. Actually, it's like around 7.5, if you will. So we have a little bit of some price action to still get to. We have a long way to go, but I do believe that we will gain those levels very, very soon. Or I shouldn't say gain, but achieve those levels very, very soon. But like I said, we do have some, time to go. And of course, I have been watching Bitcoin closely. I'm still expecting a little bit of a sell-off. I know that a lot of you probably don't watch the other videos. A lot of you probably just watch the XDC videos. But in general, for Bitcoin, I'm awaiting a pullback, of course, to this zone here at about 38.2K to about 40.7K. So with all this in mind, let's talk more so about XDC and how we get to this $190 billion market cap. So first off, we're going to be coming in hot with this huge announcement from, of course, XDC. We do see XDC plus Greg Kidd, former Federal Reserve, and Ripple. And we actually seen this announcement today. Terrific, more progress as described in this article. Identity and interoperability take a big step forward with global ID integration into XDC network, with a nice quote from Greg Kidd. So again, here's that quote at Global ID. We're on a mission to bring decentralized identity to all people. For Web3 leaders like XDC Networks, self-sovereign identity can help prevent bot attacks, fraud, and bad actors while preparing them for impending industry regulations. Partnering with Xinfin and XDC Foundation takes us a long way towards that goal through XDC's large user base, its outstanding ecosystem, and its leading position as a bridge between layer 1 networks. Honestly, when we are talking about XDC, I would say the huge selling point behind XDC isn't just the idea that it's huge, it's disrupting a major market, it's extremely undervalued, it has a low market cap valuation for what it's going after. That's not the biggest selling point. Honestly, the biggest selling point for XDC is the fact that once regulations are in store for us, these ISO 222 tokens, that, in my opinion, are probably at the forefront of regulations, the first ones to gain it. XRP, like I said, is definitely the leading horse here. But if we're talking about all of these tokens, XDC, once it has regulations, it's going to be utilized how it's properly supposed to be. And that is going to be for trade finance, but for a lot of other use cases, aka being that bridge between layer ones. And also, we do see here XDC is chosen as one of the top blockchain platforms in 2022. It promises to function using the world's fastest and energy efficient consensus protocol and is EVM compliant. I want you to all understand that 2022 is going to be a huge year for crypto, but it's also going to be a huge year for a lot of these networks and these major assets that are, like I said, focused in the ISO 222 category. Yeah, it's just a messaging, format, but I want you to all pay attention to what is happening within ISO 222 as well. I really want you to all understand that currently right now these assets are all focusing on specific markets. XRP, cross-border payments, $156 trillion market. XDC, $19 trillion global trade finance market. These are huge markets that these assets are set to disrupt. And I'm telling you, if we could do that, it's going to be extremely huge. And of course, we do see a little bit of an opinion. This has come from Quincy Jones, opinion real-world use cases for NFTs in finance and trade. This actually really kind of breaks down exactly where NFTs are positioned in terms of the DeFi space, in terms of real-world application and stuff. I'm really excited for trade finance to be really disrupted here because I think that there's a lot of things that NFTs really do, bring to that market. We actually see our trade finance instruments such as fixed income products and investment notes can securely move along the blockchain in a manner that brings transparency, facilitates seamless settlement, and extends liquidity. At the same time, smart contracts eliminate intermediaries, reduce counterparty risk, and preserve the integrity of deliverables. And that really is exactly what we are awaiting to see happen with NFTs, especially in the trade finance area. We do see here, they're built upon smart contracts and blockchain technology, the same decentralized networks that power many popular cryptocurrencies. Mainly the idea of leveraging this. NFTs can take any type of information, be it an image, a 3D model, a document, anything really, and give it a form of uniqueness and tangibility by making it cryptographically unique from any other batch of data, even if otherwise identical. This means that NFTs represent a fundamentally more useful form of digital information. The data encoded into an NFT cannot be altered, counterfeited, or in any way accessed by anyone not in possession of course, the appropriate cryptographic, I don't know why I said it like that, keys. Even if an attacker should manage to steal an NFT, the history and destination would still be completely visible to everyone. And of course, this is all talking about tokenization within, of course, the idea of trade finance. We do see our trade finance also faces complex regulatory and supply chain procedures involving multiple moving parts and requires a great deal of trust. It is also a sector that remains highly susceptible to, of course, document fraud. NFTs can remove those barriers, eliminate fraud, and reduce resilience on middlemen. Or reliance on middlemen, by tokenizing assets and documents into a single immutable digital token. Honestly, when we are talking about trade finance, we already know that trade tech with, of course, Xinfin, has already done so. We even see that being mentioned here. In September, leveraging the XDC network, Trade Tech, a trade finance distribution firm, executed one of the world's first complete end-to-end on-chain tokenized invoice finance transactions. Honestly, when we are talking about trade finance, I want you to all understand that Xinfin is the only one so far to facilitate an NFT transaction with, of course, trade finance. That means that it's already at the forefront of this problem and it's already solving this. We also hear the fourth industrial revolution is happening before our eyes, and the mainstream media hasn't once thought about even mentioning it to the public. It's like they just want people to stay in fear and focus on the past so that they miss being part of building the future. And of course, trade finance talks, coronavirus and the fourth industrial revolution. Trade finance is at the forefront of this. I want you to all understand that XDC is going to be extremely huge. I really do believe that, when we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution, digitization and tokenization is going to take over at such a rapid pace. People are not even going to be able to, fathom it. It's going to be something that's going to be so quick to market and so quick to change everything that you're not even going to notice it really. It's going to be huge. And of course, when we are talking about some connections to Xinfin, DASL, and of course, DASL actually just announced a partnership or integrated with BCB Group, which we're going to be addressing here shortly. But DASL is huge as well. Finance, grade, flexible, trust it. It's the perfect solution for digital assets, a robust application designed specifically for mission-critical, highly regulated environments. And of course, when we are talking about DASL and, Xinfin, trusted by many. And of course, BCB Group is there, of course, but, Xinfin, Trustology, this is huge. And this is all talking about tokenization, of course, from the banking standard and stuff. I want you to all understand where Xinfin's really kind of, positioned currently. It's huge. And this is all focused on multiple, use cases from escrow settlements, DeFi, accounts, tokens, trading, etc. This is huge. I want you to all understand that this is at the forefront of digitization, especially in regards to some of these major solutions that they have. Like, you can click here and read all about their stuff. I mean, it's very, very interesting from an overall standpoint, especially from technology. You could read all about this stuff. It's very cool, very interesting, and it's all focused on, of course, digital assets, digitization. This is exactly what we have been waiting for. It's been, years in the making, and it's probably a little bit of time away still, but it's going to happen very, very soon. It's going to be something that we don't have to wait years and years for. I would say by at least 2025, things are going to look extremely different. And of course, BCB Group, this is all talking about regulatory first, institutional principles. I want you to all understand that this is all talking about regulations, institutional standards and stuff. Why do you think that they're focused on regulations? Why do you think that they're focused on, institutional grade clients and stuff? It's because they're coming from these, areas of expertise. For example, our all-star leadership team has worked for Barclays, Credit Suisse, BDO, Deutsche Bank, Investec, Lloyd's Commercial Bank, Norton Rose, Fulbright, FIS, and Sun Life of Canada. I mean, these are huge, in my opinion, right? These are huge connections here to some high-tier individuals. And of course, BCB, even mentions, of course, working with, DASL, and DASL is already connected to Xinfin. And of course, you can see all their trusted partners worldwide here, backed by global companies as well. And I'm telling you guys, pay attention to some of these direct connections that, Xinfin has, because these are all institutional grade, for example, companies that are also focused within the regulatory standards of things. And I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about some other companies, but I think that I'm going to save those for tomorrow, because those are, some deep dives that I do want to talk to you guys about. But understand that this is all focused on, of course, digital assets, how they, present use cases within tokenization in a liquid market, and of course, how it's feasible to, of course, tokenization within real estate, in terms of loans and stuff like that. It's very exciting to see a lot of this come to fruition, but I'm very excited for trade finance to be disrupted by Xinfin, because trade finance is the giant of a market cap, market that Xinfin's really going after. And if we do grasp just 1%, just 1%, okay, we talk about 1% within cross-border payments with XRP. We talk about 10% of that market share. I mean, at 1%, we would do a 235x, and we're already well positioned to do this. We already are the first blockchain technology in this space to facilitate an NFT transaction with trade finance. We know Andre Casterman, who is on the board of directors for Xinfin, he was a past worker with Swift. He's focused on trade finance. We have a ton of connections to trade finance giants. I'm telling you, trade tech was a huge piece of the puzzle to show us where Xinfin is really positioned in terms of trade finance and where we are headed. And I honestly think that a 235x is going to happen by 2025 with Xinfin. So with all that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join a free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this video. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.